Before I get into the nitty gritty of what I want to talk about, just asking everyone how their summer's been. We've had these heat waves. Thankfully, I've not had to experience any heat wave, and I'm so thankful because the heat waves in the southwest and the heat waves in other parts of Europe, particularly the Mediterranean. As a child, when I was about 13, I went to Athens in Greece, and I love it, but it was very hot even in May. So I can really appreciate how hot these countries can get. Just want to share with you some of the things I've been eating this summer. I just had grilled lamb chops the other day, put lamb chops on a barbecue, delicious. I've had a great deal of fish, and I really want to make another paella before the summer's out. And so we're here to talking about MRB. And I just want to say, be respectful with your comments. I respect other people's opinions. They don't have to be the same as mine. I was just on a channel today. We have different opinions, but we can still be civil towards each other. So it was today when I became aware that Mummy Ramblings, MRB, has started a GoFundMe. And if you follow the link to the GoFundMe, she lists all the reasons, very eloquently, why she has started this GoFundMe. Now, I know that people have different opinions on Mummy Ramblings, and, I know that her supporters have one opinion and her detractors have another. I have my fair share of detractors on YouTube, and my philosophy is that if you don't have any detractors, if you don't have people that are against you, that don't like you, then you're nobody on YouTube. It's only the people that have some kind of impact or influence that have detractors. So in actual fact, the people that don't like you and the people that don't like me, for example, they're some of my biggest audience, and they're giving me watch time. So that's how I look at it. By watching my videos, regardless of whether they like me or not, they're giving me watch time. But I do think it's quite negative and unfortunate that the community has become the way it is. Instead of discussing cases and agreeing to disagree, the community is now a back and forth community with squabbles and disputes and people in little groups saying that one thing or the other, and there's back and forth between groups and stuff like that. And I think it's quite unfortunate that that's what's happened to the community that we're in terms of, this true crime community. Anything that's been put my way negatively, I've managed to rise above it, and I've managed to rise above it with my voice. And no one can put anything to me without me having a voice and speaking up for myself. I've never set up any kind of GoFundMe or crowdfund. Now, I'm not against people setting up GoFundMes and crowdfunds because I've seen the benefits of these fundings in the past. However, when I heard that Mummy Ramblings was setting up a GoFundMe, I thought about the Rzuceks and their fundraising. And there's been years and years of fundraising on the Rzuceks part. They've been fundraising for years, at least 2 years, at least 2.5 years, apparently to take AD down. And AD is still here doing his thing with 80,000 plus subscribers. So this is a very informal discussion. Will a GoFundMe actually sort out Mummy Ramblings' issues and problems that she's had and encountered? Does it actually make a difference? In the case of the Rzuceks, they've been raising funds for a long time, and nothing has made a difference as far as I'm concerned when it comes to the Rzuceks and their efforts with regard to AD. Nothing has made a difference. They've just been raising funds. They've been given money, but nothing has happened. My feelings are the same thing will happen when it comes to Mummy Ramblings and her fundraising. Although, let me just say, and like I said, I know people have different opinions. I do empathise with some of the things that Mummy Ramblings have been through, especially with regard to her son. I'm not saying that she's a sweet, innocent angel, just like I'm not a sweet, innocent angel. That's not what I'm saying. I'm sure she has her flaws. I've seen them. I've seen some of her behaviours. Sometimes she's sometimes she has, a hysterical attitude, and sometimes she acts quite entitled, in my opinion. But that doesn't mean to say that she hasn't got some good content on her channel. That doesn't mean to say that she's not a good person. There's things about her that I don't like, but there's also things about her that I do like. And there's several channels I'm aware of. There's several channels, talking about her right now in a not so positive light. Um, there's one channel in particular that I've seen that's going at her. And we also know that Save Robbie is also saying things about Mummy Ramblings. I thought that the back and forth between Robbie and Mummy Ramblings had gone down, that it had finished, but that obviously isn't the case. And I thought the back and forth between Natasha and Ramblings was over. But apparently these things are still going on, and it's having a great impact on her and her channel, um, according to her. So MRB claims that she is going to move forward and it's going to be expensive, that she's lost significant income because of what's been happening. And she says that she will use money raised for a retainer and to start proceedings. Where have we heard that before? From the Rzuceks. And that was a long, long time ago that we heard that, and still nothing has happened as far as I'm concerned. So it'll be interesting to see where this actually goes. Having said that, there are some positive things that Mummy Ramblings could, focus on. She has a lovely kitchen. She does her live streams from her kitchen. She's got a lovely kitchen. I know what it's like to have a nice kitchen. She has a talent for cooking. She has a talent for arts and crafts. And I think if she was to do some cooking videos on her channel, and probably to give some of this Krama stuff a rest for a while, that she could she could actually do very well with it. She has other talents apart from just what she taught, the cases that she discusses on her channel. I think that she should make use of that kitchen that she's got. Do some cooking, videos. That they always do very well on YouTube. She's got the audience. This summer, I have to say, has been quite challenging for me and for many others. It's been even more challenging with the heat waves. Thank goodness I didn't get any of that in England. We were told that we were going to get a heat wave, and it never happened. It never came to fruition. We're in August now, and I don't think it's going to happen. The heat waves in Greece, Italy, Spain, the southwest of the United States, and what that has caused and the impact that has had. I'm so glad that I escaped the heat wave. I've been to Greece as a child. I went to Athens, and I went to a small town in Greece, a beachside town. And I went in May, and even by then it was already very, very hot. So I know what Greece can be like in terms of heat. The city of Athens, for example, seems to absorb heat. So, and I don't do very well in extreme heat. So, it's been a very challenging summer for many of us. Things like eating delicious food and cooking really, really keeps me sane and keeps me positive, because it's just been very challenging. There's been all sorts of things going on that I might share with you at another time. But like I said, we've heard this before from the Rzuceks. So they're raising funds to get everything sorted. And, with regard to AD is still here. He's still thriving. And who knows, the people that MRB are talking, he's talking about, the people that are going after her, they'll probably still be around after all of the fundraising as well, apart from perhaps Natasha, who comes and goes, and you never know when she's going to reappear. But, that's just what I wanted to share with you today, that, the community has definitely taken a turn. And, I wish everybody could be like Linda. I don't know if any of you know who Linda is. She has a channel. She discusses many cases. She has an exceptionally huge following. She does, she talks about these cases, the Watts case and other cases, the Vallow case and other cases. And she gets along just fine. There's no back and forth with any other creators. She does very well on her channel. She has a high amount of subs and followers. She never seems to have any problem with her channel. She's very lucky, and the way she presents her content is wonderful. I've never heard her say anything about any other creators in a negative way. She does her content, she gets tons of views, she has tons of subscribers, and she does very well without getting involved in any of this back and forth. I don't know how she does it. I envy her, I've got to be honest, because she doesn't have any of these issues. But I'll keep an eye on Mummy Ramblings and her fundraising, but I ultimately don't know if it's going to make any real difference.